The limiting factor when it comes to growing any property business is always deposit money, right? So for every buy-to-let, you typically need 25% down payment. Now, you might have deep pockets, but you're only going to be able to buy 2 or 3 properties at most for most people until the money runs out. What you really need to do to sustain a property business is to bring in outside investment. Problem is with buy-to-let, it's not profitable enough. So if you were to give the cash flow rewards away to the property investor, there's nothing left for yourself. So what's the point in doing it in the first place? The solution to this is creating an uplift in the value of the property that you're buying and developing. This can either be a refurbishment project or you could do a development from scratch. And the beauty here is you're creating value out of thin air, which means you can give that value away to an investor, paying them interest as well, and thus you own the asset at the end, which is going to cash flow for you. But they've actually done really well as well. They've got 10% return on their money. So how does this all work from a financing point of view? Well, you're still going to have that senior debt, like you would with a high street bank lender in the case for buy-to-let. Here it's probably going to be a bridging lender, and they're going to loan about 70% of the total value of the project. And they're going to get first charge on the property, and you're probably going to pay about 10% a year for this money. It's quite expensive money. But now you're able to bring in a second layer below them. Remember, you've still got this 30% to make up, which is the whole point of this video. And the second level is called mezzanine finance if you're going to another institution, say like a hedge fund, for example, or works exactly the same way if you're using private investor money. They have a second charge on the property, so it's a riskier investment for them, but they get a higher interest rate of about 15% a year, and that's left you only with 10% that you need to contribute to the project. Now, even this 10%, if you're creative about it, can be brought in from the outside. So for example, you could find a second investor. Now, you can't give them a first or a second charge on the property. They've already been given away. But what you could do is bring them into the limited company, the development company, on a shareholder basis, and then they benefit from a profit share, which will be pre-agreed in your agreement with them, once the project is complete. So at the end of the project, you're going to have refinanced it. It will go on to then like a buy-to-let mortgage, so you'll have 25% stake in it. And you might have given away some of that 25% stake to that third layer like we just discussed. But you're still going to own the property, you'll have some equity in it. You'll have paid back all these investors between 10 and 15% a year, and you'll own and control a very profitable cash flowing asset with almost none of your own money contributed. So this is why it's vital, if you really want to grow and sustain a property business over the long term, to learn the skill, firstly, of refurbishing or developing, and then secondly, attracting outside money.